Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to show you a freebie that I made and I put up on my Kofi account. Now, this freebie came along where I took a glance at a video. Honestly, I don't know what it was, but I saw on the video a teeny tiny portrait. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I've got the bigger Tim Holtz photo booths, and I'm like, okay, teeny tinier could be definitely fun. So I remembered that I have my grandmother's yearbooks, and so all these people probably born around 1914, so 110 years old. So I think they're safe and good, and yeah, good to use is my hope. So the I scanned 2 pages in, and I'm going to show you the results here. So this is the results of it. They were seniors back in I think it was 32? 30? Yeah, I think it was 32. I've gone through and I've tried to get rid of some of the blemishes on there, but they're still a bit grainy. I mean, the yearbook was pretty grainy just to start because it was, you know, printed almost 100 years ago. And yeah, but I think I did a pretty good job, especially for what this ends up being. And there were some interesting characters on there. This gentleman with the glasses I thought was fun. This girl, she has like a beret on and almost looks like a fur, like she's going to be a star one day. And this sweet girl, I love their curls. This guy looks like he could be around now. I just was kind of like, okay, he looks like he could have been a movie star. There's just some interesting scientist. He could have been a gangster maybe. Again, she was also from the Chicago area, the town next to it. She grew up in Cicero. If you Google Cicero, there's a lot of mob activity back then. So yeah, so we're just going to assume these were wonderful children, and yeah, so fun stuff. So I scanned these 2 in. So my Kofi is going to have this sheet of the smaller people. They're about, oh, maybe an inch high. Inch by inch and a quarter maybe, so nice and tiny. But then I also scanned them in a little bit bigger so that if you want to play with them, these end up being a little bit grainier because, again, blowing up a little bit, but I think they'd be kind of fun to play with. You can see him better. I love her curls, just fun. So I got a sheet of the one strip of people and then the sheet of the other strip of people. You can see the movie star a little bit better. Yeah, fun stuff. So they're freebies in my Kofi account. So I did show you the first one I did, and what I'm thinking of doing today is just making some little bitty clusters that you can throw onto, you know, any sort of card. So if you have a blank journaling card laying around to decorate, we'll have these clusters laying around. You can just put that on there. Or maybe you have some Masterboard cards from when you made 15 Masterboards. I don't know who did that, that you could lay on there to do that. So that is a fun thing. Now I also went through and I made one of the bigger ones, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get to make any of these, but the bigger picture, I used that lovely girl who looking off into a distance, and I used the film strips that I got off of 7 Plaza that I printed on the clear sticker paper. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get to any of those, but it looks, ended up being very cool because, you know, through the splotches back on, looking old, but it has a vignette of brown around it. It just came out so cool. Hopefully, I'm trying not to show much too much glare on there, but this is one of the Masterboard cards that I made in the last video. So you can see the fun that you can do with Masterboards, and that came out very cool. So I was very happy about that. But today we're going to make some of these. So what I've gathered together is these little books of papers. Now, I got these probably on Temu, would be my guess. I had a vellum one somewhere, and I like never use them. They're tiny and stuff. But I thought these would make great backgrounds for these pages. This one's a little bit bigger. I used that on the one with the film strip. I got the little ones, and then I also grabbed out my I was doing my Masterboard, I think I showed. I really gotta get a different box for this. This does not open well. I've got the little pieces for that. Trying to close that. And then I also saw when I was going through something that I had these little pre-cuts from the Tim Holtz 12x12s that I had for years. So they're nice little squares and grungy. I also have solids to go with it. As well as I pulled out, I just have this random, I'm not even sure where this came from, but they're kind of, they almost look like tickets, but they're nice and dark colors. And I've got those, this link is in my description below with my Amazon links, the cardboard sticky tags. I thought these would be kind of fun, maybe to add to some of those. And I pulled out my Tim Holtz strips I had. I got those, so those are tiny. And of course I have my number book, which I love, and just a couple of miscellaneous things for that. But so I thought, let us do this and we'll go from here. So I think I want to play with a couple of these guys. This kid with glasses is adorable. I love him. So I think we're gonna play with him. I did not scan the page with my grandmother on there. She was actually, I think, in that book a freshman. And I was reading her book from when she was a senior, and had like the class history, and it said when our class were freshmen, us 1,200 students. I'm thinking, holy cow, 1,200 students in your class? That's crazy. But and it kind of makes sense that the book, when it showed her freshman class, it was just pictures of 50 kids on bleachers, and you couldn't see faces. It was so, they were so far away. I'm sure if you were you at the time, you knew who you were, you knew who your friends were, and you could go from there. So, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna take out, not sure how many we'll do, but I'm hunting and pecking here for who I want to do right now. So I think I'm gonna do Girl in the Beret. Yeah, we'll start with those three and see where we go from there. I got these couple other ones here. I need some extras. Okay, so yeah, so we have these tiny papers. So we're going to start with those, and we'll see what we can add to those. Okay. And we'll do a little ink on these. They're, obviously black and white, but they're printed on white paper. I printed it on heavier cardstock so that they had a bit of thickness to them and not thinner paper. So, okay, and we're just gonna layer some stuff and see what fun stuff we can run across. So, let's get. I think this kind of looks scientific. I think it's almost looks like Russian words, and I might rip that out. Looks like it was burned paper. Put her on, looks like a back of a postcard. It says, I think it says Millie, M-E-L-L-E, so that could be Millie. And I don't know who that's for. But we could just add some fun backgrounds to these. Okay, oh, she's upside down. All right, let's see if we can find some of these. I might rip some of these a little bit later too. I think I like that. So yeah, so just tracking down anything that was little that I had that I thought could be kind of fun to put on these. Not very scientific in what I chose, but I mean, I have lots of other stuff. I've got PETs that are little, butterflies. Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of grab a few things and see where we could take this. All right, so let's start with her. And little scissors. We're just gonna chomp the edges off here. Whoops. And go from there. See what we can come up with. Now these thinner papers they're not very strong, but again, we're making them so that they become a focal point to add onto something as a cluster, onto a page. So they're really not meant to be very strong in the back. The real thing for this is, I mean, this is just a normal cluster that we've made before, but the real purpose is to get these cute little faces on there and see where we can go from there. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do with this. I think we're going to go a mixture between the art glitter glue and the other glue, because it is, and I might stick with the art glitter glue. Some of them are lighter, they don't need the heavier glue, but, and I might skip that, put that with something else. Okay, this is a sticker. Okay, and we're going to put her there. And probably track down a number, or I do have my boo-boo tapes that I can use. Put a little tape on there, as well as I do have some of these pre-stamped, and I think I'm going to have to go through and make another batch of these. These were my tidbit stamps, and what I did was I kept them all on the big sheet of paper, and I like that there. I made a set of black, the blue, and a red. And just stamped them all and then cut them out into little pieces so they were easy to add to things. Like that. They're a thicker chipboard. And yeah, so they've really come in handy. I just have them in my little bin over there. And yeah, that's cute. Yeah, so like I was saying, you get a Masterboard and you got a pre-cut out background, and actually looks really nice there. If it's kind of plain and you want to go ahead once you have your cluster and then maybe find another piece of paper to stick on there. Like that. Oh, that looks really nice. This one was, if you watched that video, and hopefully you did, because that was fun to make all those. And this is the one where the lady's head was cut off. So I took one of my masking tapes and I just put it on there, so you can't even tell that there was a person on there unless someone goes and blabs and tells you there's a person on there, like I just did. These I pulled out 2 to keep when I went through them because they had orange on there for the orange journal that I'm working on. And I've done both of them already. So as of when I am recording this video, I still have not totally decided if I want to, how I'm going to not disperse of the cards, but if I want to sell them or do as a giveaway. But by the time this gets posted, it'll probably be up of if I'm going to sell them or give them away, etc. But yeah, these are fun. My God, I love this. This one is so cool. So cool. Okay, let us glue this down. I love when a plan is unplanned, but it comes together. Don't you? All right, and then we'll put that right about there. Yeah, so this back page, that was the really light paper. Again, doesn't matter because it is getting completely glued down onto a background. And in seconds, that card is done. Now, of course, it's not because this cluster took us a while. But if you go and just build a stash of clusters, then when you need to decorate something, it really just takes a second to plop that down and you are good to go. Throw a little ink on the back of this. And I have a journal card too for the orange journal. I love it. Okay. All right, let's make some more clusters. These are fun. Should be able to use this too. Nothing wrong with using that. All right, so should we work on the future scientist? All right, so I think I am gonna tear away this white that was it's funny, when I first started ordering stuff, like I said, I'm pretty sure this was Temu. Didn't totally understand their I don't know what you want to call it, dimensions. Completely, and some of these came in a lot smaller than I thought they would be, so I probably would not go back and order them because no need for tiny stuff. All right, I like that. Let's go with that. But I have them, so, and they're just sitting around. So let's use them. Okay, I really don't have a plan for this. I'm just kind of gluing some stuff. So let's do that. Just making some layers. Yeah, just making some layers. Whoops. Luckily it fell glue side up, so I didn't lose any glue. All right, let's go right about there. Okay. It's gonna go on there. And put a little of that, and that could be enough. I'm gonna use this glue. It's a pretty thin paper and it's stuck in the middle, so. All right. Just got random stuff laying around here. Excellent, good, fair. I like that. We're going to trim this down a little bit. When I made these cards, I just cut them roughly so that they would be separated and not necessarily to the size of the tag. So some of them I have to go back and trim down. Good, fair, excellent. Yep. All right, let's do that. And I think I'm going to track down a number for this. And I think this one's going to be done. Yep, I think that might be a little bit bigger than I would like. Let's do that. Just gonna ink the edges are a tad white. There we go. Okay, a cluster onto a journal card. Add something else and you're good to go. Right, fun. Okay, let's see what we can do with our little lady here. Okay, this gets ripped. Oh, I almost forgot the biggest news. Over the weekend, my son got engaged. So very excited for that. We do not know. They have not decided when the wedding is going to be, but they got plenty of time to figure that out. But yeah, very excited about that. Okay, I think maybe yeah, that is an option, or this is actually little strips that I made on, they're little strips on strips. I made big cards, but this could be fun on there. All right, let's just start gluing and see what we come up with. Yeah, so we knew he was going to proposed. He had told us. He wasn't sure when. So yeah, so very exciting. Okay, we're gonna glue right there. My number's upside down, but I don't know if that really matters. All right, so let's put some glue right there. Stick it up just a little bit. Okay, let's do this. And that. And I think we need a little bit of tape on this. Okay, let's get some tape. And I think we're going to put a little tape across the bottom there. Yeah, I think I'm going to just give this a little bitty rough bottom. It was looking a little too pristine there. Cut that tape off. I didn't want to fold it. Didn't want to fold as well as I would have liked. And I'm just gonna nick those edges so they don't look so new. All right, so we're gonna put one number on here. Picking up stuff as I go. And this looks appropriate. Okay. Well, that is really cute. I like that. Yes, I do. And you won't be able to change my mind. I do like it. All right, shall we make one more? Let's make one more. All right, so again, these are on my Kofi account. If you want to pick those up for a freebie, as well as check out and see if the background masterboards are up somewhere. I haven't quite decided yet if I'm putting them up on my Kofi account or put it up on Etsy if I sell them, because yeah, just haven't decided. All right, let's get some. Oh, what are we gonna? Who are we gonna do? Let's do this guy. Okay, let's just nick the edges a little. Well, I had a thought here. What if I have a tiny photograph that I can cover that with. This could work. Well, let's do that. All right. Now I found that the best way to do these is to peel it mostly back if you can, and hold it down, and then try to do your best to, because this paper was sticky, try to do your best to put the image where you want it, and then reclose it, and then use something to burnish it down. I like to do it from the back. You can't do it from the front. It leaves, if you don't, it leaves kind of a almost looks like little bubbles on there. But once you rub it down, you got nice good adherence. But yeah, so now he's definitely antiqued. A little film strip of him. I like that. Okay, we'll be able to put him on there like that. We might not put that. Let's see. Okay, this picture has to be more in the middle because once the sticker comes off, it's going to be sticky all over. So we want to do that. I do have this other half of this number that I might be able to put somewhere. But I think I need a pop of color. So all right, let's go with that. Let's see how that goes. Now we're going to glue this down first, but not completely on the paper. And I forgot to add a little distress to that. Let's do that. And then you're going to go here and go. Down a little, just to make that a little bit longer. And just a little bit more of that. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to glue this down with stick glue just because stick glue is about to finish here. I want it nice and over everything. Just in case I need one. Okay, I'll put that up there, and then we'll see if that can go somewhere. Okay, so this was, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the picture because that's obviously not sticky anymore. Don't want that coming up. Okay, and stick that down, as well as, let's see, yeah, that could go nice there, and maybe before I stick that, I'm going to see if there's some washi tape I want to stick maybe across there. I haven't used any washi tape yet. All right, how about just some stripes? This could work. Yeah, I like that. All right. We're gonna have it run almost to the edge and wrap it around. And then we'll put our number. Yeah, I like that. Just nick the edges off a little. It's looking a little new. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think I'm going to add anything else. Famous last words, right? Yeah, that's cute. We're going to go back to perfect, right? Just plop it right on a card and you're good to go. I love it. Okay, well, those were fun to make. I'm glad I saw that inkling of that little picture somewhere. And if I can remember where I saw it, I'm not even sure the video was saying that was a feature of it. I just literally saw something and I don't even know how old it was. One of those, I think it might have been even just on the, when you look at the thumbnails for all your videos you can watch, and it might have been on the picture. And I went, oh, look, little baby photos. It's funny what can spark an idea, right? All right, let's take a look at what I made. All right, we'll start out with this gentleman. Try to get the glare off of there. Very fun. And then this sweet girl in her curls. I love it. And a very smart boy with his excellent report. And this is the one I made beforehand. Very fun. And our movie star in her beret and fur. Journal card for the orange journal. As well as this one, again with the film strip, the demure. Look, she was hip way back then. Isn't that a saying now, demure? I don't know, I'm not up on those things. Yeah, fun stuff. So, again, go to my Kofi account, and check it out. Got the page of the little people, and then the 2 pages of the bigger ones to have some fun with. And yeah, I like it. All right, well, that is going to be it for me today. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you that stop by and hang out with me. And I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.